You ever have that feeling like you're on the sidelines of your own life? You're the reliable friend, you're the backup plan, but you're never really the main event? It's a surprisingly common feeling. But what happens when it's not just a one-off thing, but a consistent pattern? Well, today we're going to dive into the really deep psychology that develops when you've just never been the first choice.
So let me just start with a question. Are you the person in your friend group who always notices when the mood shifts? You can pick up on the tiniest change in someone's voice or that little hesitation before they speak. If that sounds like you might have this finely tuned social radar. Let's talk about where that actually comes from.
And right off the bat, let's be super clear. This isn't about being left out of a party one time or getting picked last for a team in school. We're talking about something much deeper than that. It's this quiet, constant understanding that starts to shape how you see absolutely everything. Yeah, it's that feeling, right? The feeling of being the person people call, but only after their first plan falls through. It's not this loud, dramatic rejection. It's way more subtle. It's a quiet, consistent message that just says, hey, you're valuable, but you're not the priority. And over time, that quiet message has a really powerful effect on your mind.
So what is the root cause here? Look, this whole psychology isn't born from some single dramatic event. Nope, it's forged by something way more subtle, and that's repetition. It's a pattern of exclusion that slowly but surely becomes a predictable part of your life. So when being overlooked stops being the exception and starts becoming the rule, your brain does what brains do best. It adapts. It literally starts to rewire itself. It stops hoping for inclusion and instead starts to anticipate and survive exclusion. That is a massive, fundamental shift in how you expect the world to treat you.
Okay, so if the brain is adapting to survive all this, what does that actually look like in real life? Well, it develops this new kind of radar. It's a really powerful survival mechanism that's designed to protect you from the constant sting of being let down. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called rejection sensitivity. And it's more than just being afraid of rejection, it's an active expectation of it. Your past has basically trained your brain to see rejection as a high probability. So you're always on guard, constantly scanning for threats, like a text that goes unanswered just a little too long. This comparison here, it really breaks it down perfectly. I mean, look at the difference. A typical brain goes in hoping for inclusion. It's genuinely surprised by rejection. But the adapted brain, it's already anticipating exclusion. It's not surprised at all, it's prepared. It stops just assuming good faith and starts scanning for those tiny little social cues, that slight withdrawal, the way someone's eyes shift, that tell you rejection is on its way. And boom, this is exactly where that social radar from the beginning comes from. This hyper-awareness is the direct result of that rejection sensitivity. You basically become an expert at reading the room because for a long time, your emotional safety has depended on it. You learned to see the storm clouds long before anyone else even felt a drop of rain. But being in this constant state of alert, well, it leads to another really profound change. When you're always expecting to be let down by other people, you eventually just stop looking to them for support. You learn pretty much out of pure necessity that the only person you can really truly count on is yourself. And this path to self-reliance, it happens in these clear stages. First, there's just repeated disappointment. Your hopes get dashed again and again. Then your brain, being a pattern recognition machine, it starts to see what's happening. And here's the most critical part. You stop expecting to be rescued. You stop waiting for that invitation, that phone call, that text that's going to make you feel included. And finally, you turn inward. You become your own validator, your own cheerleader, your own rescuer. Now, I know this all sounds pretty painful, and it is. But through this whole process of adaptation, something else is being built. It's this unintended, powerful, and very silent strength. It's a kind of emotional endurance that, while it protects you, can also be a bit of a double-edged sword, right? It can make it really hard for other people to see when you actually need help. This quote just puts it so perfectly. This isn't a strength that somebody gave to you. It's a shield that you had to build for yourself, piece by piece, every single time you were overlooked. It was forged in that silence, and that's what makes it so incredibly strong. So what all of this builds up to is this immense capacity to just handle emotional pain. You can absorb disappointment, you can process it, and you can keep moving forward. And a lot of the time, nobody around you even has a clue. It's like a quiet superpower, one that was born from a pretty painful reality. So when we put all of these pieces together, a really clear profile starts to emerge.
It begins with that hyper-awareness of social cues, which is driven by high rejection sensitivity. That leads to a default state of self-reliance, where you just stop looking for validation from anyone else. And the result of all that? A powerful, silent, emotional endurance.
So let's just end with a different way of looking at all this. It's really easy to see the pain of being the second choice as just a wound. But what if we reframed it? What if that deep empathy, that incredible self-reliance, that unbreakable emotional endurance, what if your greatest strengths were actually forged in the very moments you felt you weren't enough?